maybe you just found out now. But the most unique thing about rice terraces is the Filipino value that came with it. All other structures were built with slave labor. The rice terraces were built with Bayanihan. In other words, magkapit-bahay kayo, sige gawin natin ito para ganyan. And extended to everybody doing their share of work para makomplete lahat yun. There was no emperor who was saying, do this, pain of death. Wala, ganun. It was really Bayanihan. And the roots of Bayanihan are that early. Now there's pre-colonial, pre-Spanish, and all of that. Now, when you think about Bayanihan, nandyan din yung EDSA. EDSA was a Bayanihan thing. The immediate response of the population was also very Bayanihan. When you think about people opening their homes as delivery centers for relief goods, di ba? Ang dami ganun. Pati bahay ko nagbukas ng ganun because of my daughter, no? So many people just coordinated. And when you think about EDSA, for example, where there were no smartphones, there was only a beeper, and the media was controlled by Marcos, how could you gather 100, how could you gather 1 to 2 million people in a place like that? It had to be a Bayanihan spirit to do it. Word of mouth, concern, pasa, everything, right? And now, with social media here, our Bayanihan spirit, as Filipinos, has extended actually all over the world. The internet has become our new nervous system as Filipinos. You know, we care about Filipinos in Liberia, and not just Filipinos. I think we're beginning to become more world-centric. We're caring about people we don't know in the Ukraine, because they're going for democracy the way we did, diba? So parang for me, that Bayanihan spirit is very strong. Number 2, a value that I really like is respect for elders. As I get older, I realize that's very important. And I'm a beneficiary of that. But when you think of other societies where there's a generation war between young and old, you realize the beauty of what it is to respect the elders in our country. Pag matanda ka sa ibang bansa, pag matanda ka na, ayaw ka na alagaan ng mga anak mo. Lalagay ka sa old folks home, doon ka lang mamamatay. Diba? Sa atin, till the last breath of our grandparents, we're there. We're concerned. We're showing love, no? So, and in today's world, which is a very young world, it's easy to be smart, intelligent, witty, and all of that. But wisdom really comes with age. And that's where you learn from the old people. Your sons and daughters, pag inaalagaan ng lolo at lola, ay nako, what a delight for them and what a delight for the lolo and lola. Pag nagiging brati na, binabalik na sa parents. Okay, anak mo yan. But really, I think that value really serves us as a people. And it makes us distinct. And it's part of the innate compassion and joy that we have as a people. Now, the third value, which is, I don't know what to call it. I call it Filipino exceptionalism. Now, what is that? American exceptionalism, actually where I borrowed the term from, is something like this. We are Americans. We are unique. We can intervene all over the world because we are Americans. They sort of assign it to themselves, right? Anong Filipino exceptionalism? You heard of the Filipino jokes na there's a Japanese, there's an American, there's a Filipino, right? And they all do conventional stuff, and the Filipino does something really different, right? You can look at it both ways. One is like, well, the Filipino is escapist, cannot follow rules, kaya ganyan yung ginagawa niya. But on the other hand, the Filipino exceptionalism that I talk about is the spirit of somebody like Manny Pacquiao, who used to sell cigarettes and is now top of the world. I talk about people who had, who started with nothing. F.F. Cruz, for example, his father was a farmer. When you pass through that North Expressway, yung tatay niya was one of those na nag-ano ng grass. And now look at him. Laki-laki niya. So our success stories are Filipino exceptionalism sa suntok sa buwan. And everybody believes that he, kahit na hopeless na, sabi niya, hindi, baka makachamba. Diba? Malay mo, meron tayong gano'n diba? Malay mo, baka ako yun, diba? Which is like, when you think about it, everybody thinks, in a tight situation, there are a lot of Filipinos who think, no, we can do something. Or I am the sperm that will impregnate. Diba? There may be many of us, pero okay sa swertehin. Parang ganun yun. So, those three values for me really stand out in today's modern world. It's a can-do spirit, no? When you say, I can do it, I can find a way. Makakahanap tayo ng solution dito. Taking care of the elderly and including them in our everyday lives is such a holistic approach to family, to compassion, to everything else. No? And Bayanihan spirit, I think, which we do exceptionally well during exceptional times, but we also do this during Christmas, where everybody's really welcome. We really welcome everybody to the home. What's the first thing we ask people when they enter our house? Kumain ka na? We're centered on food. We're centered on something so basic that it ties us together. Oh nga, gusto ko di ba? Parang lakas ng bonding doon kaagad, di ba? Sa Australia, which I live there certain times of the year, my son will visit his girlfriend. They're having dinner. He's waiting there by the side. Hindi siya iniingit sa table. I mean, awkward, di ba? It's awkward for my son, but not to the Australian. Hintay ka dyan. Sa kanila natural yun. Unless they say, hey, come on, let's eat. But otherwise, wala. Ganun. Sa atin, hindi ganun. Impossible. Impossible. Kahit na dumating in the middle of, you'll find a way to make everything fit, right? Oo. Ati yung spam mo talagang, we have the art of cutting spam in such a thin layer para kakasya. But that is part of Bayanihan. That's part of compassion. That's part of the joy that we have as Filipinos. I went to the Middle East and I said, oh my gosh, they're so rich. Maraming mga Mercedes na kung ano-ano, mga gold, yung mga trimmings, everything. Lahat may gold. Pero sabi ko, oh my gosh, I would not exchange being a poor Filipino for something like this. Bawal ng sex sa young people. Diba, ang daming bawal, prayer 5 times a day. Oh my gosh, futile everything, wala yung nakatawa na, wala lang, diba? Pero ganun tayo. And for me, that's the uniqueness of being a Filipino. We can make a visitor, a foreign visitor, come here and never forget us by the sheer warmth of who we are.